to Dynamics User Group India, which is abbreviated as D365 UG India. I would also like to invite our guest speaker as Venkatesh. This is our session 48 on transforming ERP processes with agents in Dynamics 365. It is the continuous session from session 46, 47, now 48. And now this one is basically focused on expense agent. Expense management you might have heard about. Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, those who are not speaking, I would recommend to go on the mute. Thank you. Today's session is more on this expense management, kind of an expense agent. This is our user group. This is our portfolio now. It was started with love with Dynamics from Rachit Garg, followed by Umesh, Satya sir, and Deepak Agarwal. Deepak and Rachit sir are Microsoft MVP. We are now 3,300 members globally, and we are increasing. These are the Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube handles. You can actually follow us. In case you want to do the group volunteering, or in case you want to actually present your knowledge, probably you want to share your knowledge, you can actually get started with us. You can reach out to me, Rachit sir, Satya sir, or Deepak Agarwal at any point of the time. This is our past sessions, which has been updated, always recorded, and it has been updated fortnightly. Almost every once the session is done, we record it at the night time. Yeah, today's session, I will not delay. I will invite Venkatesh on our platform. Venkatesh, over to you.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I would just want to thank for the opportunity for the platform that you guys have set up. It's brilliant to see such a buzzing user group community. The product is as strong as the user group is. General feeling that I have. It's my personal opinion. So happy to see this. I used to be very active several years back on our community forums. Unfortunately, life caught up on me, but I'll try to cater more time. That's a promise that I'm making today. Okay, I have today with me the PM owner for expense management and expense agent, the products, the features that we're talking about. His name is Ajit Chandra. He's joined us to help with Q&A if we have any also at the end of the session. Yeah, Ajit, if you want to just say hi to everyone. Over to you quickly.
Hey everyone, good to be here. Looking forward for the discussion today.
Okay.
Hi Ajit. Venkatesh,
Ajit, thank you.
Can you get closer to the mic? People are mentioning that the audio is not very clear.
Is it better now?
Yes.
Thank you.
So let's get started. So today's agenda, we just talk about autonomous ERP. I think we discussed that in the previous two sessions as well, where Priyanka and Ankur have been the speakers. So I'll just zip through them and then get to expense agent overview, prerequisites to set up and a quick demo, the marketing demo that we have. That's available on the slides that we'll be sharing. Apart from that, we'll go into the environment, process an expense report, and then show you how the inner workings are there as well. And we can quickly talk about the timeline and roadmap, because we have a couple of features that are still needs to be added to the expense agent. So, and finally, we'll open the floor for questions. Thank you for the opportunity once again. Let's get started. So, autonomous ERP, given ERPs are very fundamental and foundational for organizations to drive critical business processes. There are a lot of challenges that are there with respect to UX or usability also. So the goal is to modernize ERP with AI capabilities to ensure that we have better user experience, faster turnaround for data inputs, and get users more uh, more efficiency in their day-to-day operations. So that's our motto, being an AI first company. So it's a uh, combination of people, co-pilot agents, as well as the business processes coming together in a uh, in a crux. So traditionally, yeah,
Sorry to interrupt, Venkatesh. I think your voice is bit fizzy. Um, I'm hearing from a lot of people that your voice is not clear.
is it easy for you as well?
Yeah,
Uh,
it
I'm
is. It is bit feeble. It's breaking in between.
I think
okay.
it's for everyone.
Sorry for that, Venkat.
No worries. Is it better now? I'll try to be as loud as
Yeah,
possible.
this is better. Yeah.
Maybe Venkat, are you trying with some headphone uh, or
No,
some separate mic, something like that? If
let me try that. Let me come out of this. So I'm doing a virtual Windows kind of a Teams channel. So let me come out to my normal one. That would be better. Give me a second. I'll join back in a minute. Sorry.
sure, sure.
Sure. No worries.
No worries. Sorry, guys, for this interruption. Probably we can have our questions in the chat window, or we can unmute yourself. And if you have any doubt or any question, probably let's have the call going. It's all recorded, so make sure that no confidential data is out. Okay, so I think Venkat is back.
Is my audio better now? Is
Yes,
it
looks to
loud?
be. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Thank you.
apologize for this.
No, all good. Thank you.
So, so the way we see it is the how with modernizing the ERPs, AI agents will be available for every user. Copilot features will be available for every user. Every process will have uh, agents in them to increase the efficiency of running through the business processes. And finally, we'll be able to have more adaptive experience, which actually gives you a better way of being on top of things which you need to do right away. The system intelligently identifies that and then helps you be more efficient with your work and focus on driving more business value than just actually entering data into the system, right? So with that, we have pivoted on agentic experience being fundamental to ERP. So let's move into the expense agent. So I think we have covered this marketing video that we have for agents. Are you able to hear the audio for this?
No audio. I think, yeah,
Okay,
I think this
I'll just
marketing
voice
video
over
we have
this
seen.
then.
Yeah, that would be good.
I'll
Yes.
so we do have quite a lot of agents that are there in the system which help us to be efficient. And For example, we have reconciliation agent that has been covered up front. We have a supplier communication agent which enables better communication with our suppliers. We do have expense agent which is being covered today. So they are an aggregation of various technologies that we have, which can come together, which is Dataverse, data connectors, as well as the Graph API, which actually brings in a lot of capabilities in at one go. So to be able to orchestrate centrally from a Power Platform, and be plugging into Copilot Studio for deriving the AI related aspects for the solution, right? So this is a culmination of many technologies coming together without compromising anything on the security, right? That's at a high level how we go about achieving this. So we do already have like 6 agents that are available for the first party apps that we have. So time, expense, approval, supplier communication agent, accounts reconciliation, and scheduling operation agent, right? Now, going a bit more into the today's topic, which is expense agent. Before we go into expense agent, we would want to talk about the three different types of deployments that project operations have. One is project operations core, which is earlier called as project operations light. This is a Dataverse native application. It is only providing the project scheduling, project management aspects, doesn't provide anything associated to finance aspects. You can actually take this, integrate it with any of the ERPs that the customer have, and then you can have project management capabilities augmented to your IT landscape. The other one is resource non-SOC. Earlier it is called, but we have brought in stock product scenarios inside it. So we have rebranded that to project operations integrated with ERP. This is the resource scheduling aspects and the work breakdown structure. All of that would be Dataverse native, where it is a strong forte for that. And then the finance part would be from F&O. So it is an offering that we have where the best of both worlds are married together. The third option that we have is stocked or production order scenarios, which is now called as project operations for manufacturing. This is nothing but just the PMA module that we have in finance and operations. So now expense agent would come under project operations as an umbrella of products. So because its expense management comes there, and it is supported only in two different deployments, which is project operations integrated and project operations for manufacturing, because we are pivoting on expense reports, which is the base for the agent. Now, let's look at the as-is process that we have for an expense, how a user goes about logging in his, say, a trip expenses also. So he has to collate all the receipts that he has from the emails and mobile screenshots or photos he has collected across for the dinner receipts and all. So, and then come back to F&O, upload the receipts, create individual expense lines that for each of the receipts, be able to provide accurate descriptions for the uh, expense types and all, and then generate a expense report, submit it to the manager. So all these are manual activities that a user has to do on a day-to-day basis if he or she wants to log in an expense report. So what that brings is it's a lot of work on a regular basis. If you consider a consulting firm where employees are constantly on the travel or so, or if you look at any engineering firm where employees are always on the travel for to meet up to meet the customer on the shop floors and all, right? So with that in mind, what do we have is ability to automate the manual processes that the employee does. Like what we just need to do is have a mechanism to just create an email to a shared mailbox to say, hey, this is my receipt, this is my receipt, this is my receipt, like 10, 15, 20 receipts, whatever are there for a particular travel or for a particular trip or so. Agent would monitor that mailbox and create unattached receipts from there. And from then you would actually get agent actually creates expense lines, identifying the right category based on doing the OCR on top of the receipts, also capturing the amount as well as other details. And finally, if there are any credit card expenses that are there, that would be actually matched directly with this expense lines and itemizations. Like if you have a trip which has just say a trip one, but it has a travel, it has hotel stay, it has multiple meal related expenses all clubbed together. Itemization function could also be considered. So the last two options are yet to be built, but the first two are already done. So the way it works is it actually reduces the overload on the employees. So they could just create, send an email out saying, hey, these five attachments are my email expenses, or one by one as an email or a single email with multiple attachments. And agent creates a expense report out of it and comes back on a adaptive card on a Teams chat to say, hey, I've created an expense report for you. This is how it looks like. Can you review and submit? You could actually submit it from a Teams chatbot. This would save a lot of time for a user who submits a list of expenses, right? And how does it help in terms of the overall scope is reduces the employees overload. It enables easy and early reimbursements. And finally, it's more user friendly to use, and then it can actually accelerate the invoice creation and improve your DSO, right? Now, coming to what agent does is identify spoken now. So let's look at how to set this agent up. So these steps are pretty well documented on our docs article. Uh, the prerequisites are this: you would need to be on 10.0.44 or later version. The roles that are needed to set the agent up are highlighted here. You have to be a Power Platform admin for the environment. You have to have Exchange admin permissions to at least create a shared mailbox and enable the agentic user to be able to read that mailbox. And you have to be a Teams admin to be able to publish the Teams app across, and obviously a system admin in F&O. So these are the different roles that are needed to set this up for the first time. Okay, so let's quickly get into the installation steps. The first step is to install the Copilot for Finance and Operations app. So once we install this, we can ideally any environment which has 10.0.44 should be able to have this available. So ensure that you have the latest version of it. You could actually install it from the app source as well. Okay. Now, the next step is to actually enable the features. So go to feature management, enable immersive home feature, which actually gives you a modern immersive home page on login. And then agent management feature, which actually enables you to set up the agents for expense management, or the agent for supplier communication, all of those. And finally, the parameters that you need to configure for expense agent are available under expense management parameters under the expense entry agent. So you would need to enable it. This is a legal entity specific enablement. So you would need to do it across different legal entities if you want to enable it per legal entity. Okay. And you would also specify how frequently the agent would run, and how would you group by. Do you group by a trip, or do you group by a project for your expense report? Now, creating an the next step is you are done with setups on F&O. You would need to actually create the agentic user or the user that orchestrates the agent actions. So you would need to have AD access to be able to create a user, provide them Dynamics 365 team members license, and any combination of license that gives them a Teams plus Outlook capabilities, so that you could actually send a email to email, or read an email, or you could actually send an adaptive card to Microsoft Teams, right? So that's the one. And finally, Power Apps Premium. It can come with any of the first party licenses that you can club that with, or you could directly subscribe to this particular SKU if you need be, right? Now, coming to the permissions part, the Exchange admin comes in over here when they have to provide capabilities to create a shared mailbox as well as enable the permissions for this agentic user to be able to read the shared mailbox. Okay, the next step is set up the shared mailbox, create one, and assign permissions in the Graph Explorer to be for the user signing into the Graph Explorer uh, and providing read shared mail. If you allow that particular permission, it should be giving you the possibility for the agentic user to read the mails that are sent from the actual user to the shared mailbox and then orchestrate from there, right? The next step would actually be running a script. So the script, PowerShell script is available in the docs link. It's a very big script. I didn't want to pollute the PPT for it. So you can look at this. Let me quickly open this also. What it does is you have installation associated to uh, the expense agent. It has a lot of flows. It has Copilot Studio related agentic agents that are installed. So there are like 6, 7 connections that are available. So first we would need to just go to Makers portal, create this 6, 7 connections associated to uh, the different areas that we different systems that we are connecting here. One is Outlook, the other one is Teams, Copilot for Studio, Microsoft Outlook, and finally the Dataverse connection, right? These connections, once you set up and take the script that is available over here, the PowerShell script, change the necessary parameters in this Dataverse environment ID, Dataverse URL, and then finance operations URL, and then the user IDs for the agent. So everything below is an agent user. This is just the shared mailbox that you are setting up. So once you replace this, and if you have at least PowerShell version 7 plus or so in your computer, you'll be able to run this in PowerShell. It would ask for you for the credentials to sign up. So you would need to give the Power Platform admin, environment admin credentials for this. Once you do that, all the 6 connections are replaced with whatever you have given associated to the Dataverse connections that are created, and then it would enable all the flows as well as the agents in the back end, and finally it publishes all the agents across, right? That's what this script does. If you don't want to do it the PowerShell script way, it is possible to do it manually as well. So you would need to go to individual flows and enable them. So that piece of documentation is also available below, right? So this is the step, how you go about running this. So let me just pull the last part of this to showcase that. Okay. Yeah. So option B is to do manually. So manually you could do it. You have to follow all the steps manually as well. PowerShell script just does all that at one go, right? So that's the thing. So let's go back to our demo. So let me voice over this.
In action. We go with Outlook. I can go ahead.
So you are creating a receipt attachment against an email and sending it across to the shared mailbox. So once you do that, agent invocation happens once you set this all up. So very soon you'll be able to see an adaptive card posted on Teams, which says, hey, this is the expense report I have created for you. Do you want to review it and submit? So if you look at it, yeah, you see that the Teams has got an adaptive card. It actually talks about what category the expense is and what is the amount, what is the mileage for it, all of that. And finally, you'll be able to submit the approval expense from here directly. You will see the response directly from the adaptive card itself, from the Teams chat, right? So this is a very high level view of this. What I wanted to do today is show you a bit more detail into how it happens logging into an environment, because you would want to understand what's happening within this, right? Within the environment, right? So let me log into, okay, let me log into my environment. So, okay, I need to stop the presentation mode once for the PPT. Let me go into, we could have some questions posted on chat while we just connect to our environment. So this is my dev environment that is integrated projects available here. So I have an email set up with a shared mailbox. So this is a shared mailbox for which I'm gonna send the email into. But, oh, it needs a password. Let me type. Okay. So what we wanted to showcase is how this orchestration all happens, right? So let me take an attachment somewhere, hotel receipt. Let me download this bill.
Venkatesh, it can read all the formats, right? PDF or
It
JPG.
can read all the image and PDF formats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I would need to create an email from my normal mailbox. So let me just refresh this so that the token is refreshed here.
So idea is that every employee send their receipts to the shared email box.
Yeah, the shared email box is this. Just say receipts and then attach the receipt over here. Now, once this is done, it will be available in this as an under email. So let's look at what are all the different flows that are there that needs to be run here, right? So since these are actually triggered with a hourly or a once in a day kind of a frequency, right? It would be very difficult for us to wait for that long in this call. So let me run it manually in here so that we can get that. So let me, first one is process emails. If I just say process. Let's run this once. So this is a flow that actually looks up to your mailbox and reads all the unread emails which have attachments in the shared mailbox. Look up to the from address, figure out who is the user, and then create the receipt unattached receipts for associated to that user. Once this is done, you will be able to see an unattached receipt in F&O directly for this. Okay. That's unusually wrong. Okay. Now let's go into expense management workspace. Send. Expense management. My expenses, unattached receipts. You should see that the same receipt is available here. Now the subsequent part is how do I create lines from this, right? So that's a second flow that we would need to trigger, which is extract unattached receipts for Copilot invocation, right? That's the second flow. So let me go back to Power Automate. So this is the second flow that we would need to trigger. Normally, these are all scheduled flows, so it will be a experience of no touch over here. But since we just wanted to see what's behind the hood, right? How it is working, I just wanted to bring this out.
Yep,
Okay.
no, that makes sense.
So this flow would actually trigger Copilot Studio to figure out, hey, what is the receipt, what is the content from it, and create an expense line from it, looking up to what is the category, what project it can put it based on the user parameter settings that we have on the user options as well, to identify the employee and then to identify what's the default legal entity, right? Now let's look at expense management. Quickly open that workspace. Okay. If you see, there is expense lines that should be created. If you see, there is this receipts available. It created an unattached, like just a line where it has. So give me a second. We have to run the third flow to actually create a proper expense report from there, which is process expense reports using Copilot. So if we run that, the third flow.
Basically the header, right?
Yeah, the header. So right now we have like 40, 50 different attachments, imagine, right? It creates unattached receipts and then it creates receipt related lines. And then it groups them based on the parameter, whether you have project or whether you have a trip based on which you want to group it in the parameters, right? So it would create an expense report based on that grouping. So let's run this report. So flow, sorry. Haven't created an expense yet. Just to refresh often.
Is it a particular sequence they need to run, or it doesn't matter?
So if it is not running based on the timeline, right? So the sequence is already set up. You could just change the trigger, how frequently it triggers. So if it is not happening this time, it will happen the next time, right? So the first one takes email attachments and create unattached receipts, right?
Mhm.
The second one picks up unattached receipts and create expenses over here. The third one will take all the expenses, group them into an expense report.
Yep.
So let's see whether this has run successfully. It's still running. So okay, let's wait for it to complete.
If you wanna pick any question from the chat, Venkatesh, you can also do that while waiting for it. Up to you.
Yeah, if someone can read it out, because I am kind of missing
I
the screen again. Yeah.
Umesh, can I do that?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so first question, this agent works in FNO or does it need the Proj Ops?
So
Project operations, basically.
for you to utilize expense management generally, the features are under project operations license. It doesn't need a Dataverse based solution. It's an F&O expense reports itself. It works on. The point being, from a licensing standpoint, the entire expense management app itself comes under ProjOps license, right? So, so you would at least need the PMA module also.
The PMA of FNO, right?
Yeah, PMA of F&O.
Okay.
You could still run it, but I believe licensing will no, like it would come up as point of discussion. What if the receipts are not associated to a project, right? I'm traveling, but I'm not associating it to a project. That is also a possibility. So earlier we had a hard limit that it should always be a project related expense. We don't have that now.
Yeah.
So it can be a non-project expense as well.
Sure. Okay, no, thank you. Second question is, it would be nice to see the possibilities of out-of-the-box integration with other expense apps. Where customers still want to use other expense apps for employees. So, many clients are not using FNO expense app. They're using, let's say, Concur from SAP, right?
Okay.
Is it possible to make this agent work on those applications?
So see, the agent is tightly coupled with expense reports on F&O, the solution that we have.
Yeah.
So if you need an agent for logging expenses in Concur, right, you would need to build a custom agent that consumes Concur APIs to be able to log the expenses in, but rely on the derivation part relies on the AI Copilot features that we have, which identifies what type of expense it is, what is the OCR for it. You could use this, but you have to plug into APIs for that. So for that, you would need to build a custom agent.
API. Yeah. That makes sense. Should we go to
Let's wait
next?
for this. I think the flow has executed properly.
Okay.
It should generate a expense report. Let me sign into Teams now.
Teams is already there in the window, actually, in your tab.
It's there. I need to refresh this. So if you see, there is existing expense report itself has been updated with a new line for the receipt that we have taken, I guess. Is that the case? Yeah. It has created against the existing expense report itself. So we need to go into USPN 000401. We should have the expense over here. This is the mean. And let's look at the receipts. Live demo PNG. That's the one. So it actually grouped it under the existing expense, which is not yet submitted. Now, while users don't need to come back to F&O for submitting as well, they can do it directly on this adaptive card, where they just go about saying, hey, okay, this is not $21, it's possibly $25. And okay, this is not 45, this is 75. And then I can just submit for approval. It would fire the it. So I need to sign in again.
So basically, we can we can actually update the expense on the go as well.
Amounts over here and categories as well, right? You could do that directly on the adaptive card and then submit it. It would go back and like update it. Possibly authentication didn't go through last time, so it may have a problem because the response would have been already got. Okay. So this is something with multi-factor authentication and crazy security that we have in our lab environments. But normally you can directly do it from the app itself. So let me refresh the screen if we are seeing this expense submitted or not. You can do that operation directly. So this can be submitted directly. If I look at it, yeah, it's submitted. It's in the workflow also right now. Yeah. So that completes the live demo that I wanted to show how what's happening. So you would be wondering what's the magic in here? It could be like 3 Power Automates or so, but that's not the case because we are actually reading the content of an OCR, doing a OCR processing of the receipt, and we are also deriving hey, what kind of category it is, what project it can be, and what legal entity it should go, right? We are deriving that as part of the Copilot Studio agentic AI experience also. So that at a high level completes the demo. So let me bring back the presentation.
I think finding the project based on the receipt is I think is interesting here, right?
Yeah. So it is based on the setup, more like so if you have the default company is associated this way with the user options. The project is whatever project that you have, which you are already assigned to as a team member. It would look up to those projects to arrive at okay where this expense could be, right?
Okay.
So I would just go back to the right slide in the presentation and then start presenting again. Okay. Now, April 2025 on 43 version, we started the private preview with select few customers, like 20 odd customers or so. May 2025, we have a production ready preview. Meaning if you want to use this in production, our engineering team are super happy to support you and handhold the adoption as well because we want the customers to adopt the AI first capabilities and we'll be more than glad to support you. General availability is yet to be determined. We have we are building a couple of more capabilities into the app, so we would announce GA once we have everything available. So the other one is these are the resources where you could learn what expense agent can help also. We have a couple of a tech talk and a byte series, and then we have a list of learn articles that you could leverage. Next upcoming enhancements are agent automatically links the uploaded receipts with the corresponding expense transactions that are coming from a credit card import also, right? So that is one feature that we are coming up with agent very soon. And then we do have itemization as well because we for now we have just seen a simple expenses with no itemization details in it. So we would support itemization as well going forward. So those are the next two enhancements that are going to come on top of the expense agent. So now people might be wondering how much does it cost to me? So it is the only cost is one system admin user on F&O for who acts as an agent user, because since it's orchestrating everything, that needs to be system administrator. And then there is a pay-as-you-go need for the licenses associated to Copilot Studio. And there might be a D3. Anyway, whoever are logging in expenses in F&O would at least needs to be a team member. So there's no net new change on that front. So essentially, this is the additional commercial impact that you could see. There's a quick math on how how much it would cost, say for 150 employees sending in 1,200 expense receipts per month. Like what would the cost be to actually generate that expense reports automatically, right? So this is the quick math. Now we are at Q&A, so opening the floor for questions. So I'll just stop presentation. I have with me my esteemed colleague from engineering, Ajit Chandran, who is the PM owner for this. We'll try to answer your questions as best as we can. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Venkat. I think thank you, Ajit, as well for pitching in. I think the next questions in the continuous from the Satya sir is about the I think it was the F&O role, where if agent has system admin role in F&O, why does it need Dynamics 365 team member license, or it's a mistake in the PPT as the doc says expense agent role in
No.
F&O?
Expense agent agent user will be a system admin, but your actual end employee who is sending in the receipts are still team member users. So they are still
Okay.
going to go and log receipts and expense reports on F&O. That access is still there. Agent is just mimicking for a whole of your organization. That user has to be system admin. That's one additional
Okay.
user.
Just
The
just an update
system.
there. Sorry, Umesh. Just an
Yeah.
update there. So yeah, that was as part of, I mean, as part of the last update, right? I think I put it on the chat as well. Because of the elevated roles of the system admin, that's been replaced with the expense agent role now. So I mean, we had a lot of feedback coming in saying why should such high privileges be given to a
Right.
agent user, right? So taking that feedback, we've released the expense agent role, which should suffice doing all the actions by the agent. So yeah, that's something that we are correcting. We've corrected it in documentation, but we will also correct on all the other materials as well.
Okay, one more question derived from there. So in finance and operation, it will have expense agent role within the system, and
Right.
then and in the tenancy side, like licensing, it will have a Dynamics 365 team member, correct?
Yes.
The
that's right.
particular
Yes.
agent. Okay, good. And user, like suppose I'm the user, I'm submitting the expense. It could be any role, right? It could be any role within the finance and operation. It could be a finance consultant or a supply chain consultant, or even myself being a team member. I can submit the expenses, correct?
The bare minimum is team member, Umesh,
Team member, yeah.
because
Okay.
you cannot log in an expense without being a team member. That will
Mhm.
fall directly into multiplexing. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
What if I'm an employee of different company and I have to fill the expense
you
sheet of my vendor company, maybe, or maybe customer company. We
you would
already have
essentially
as a consultant.
you would essentially add them to your B2B as a guest
Okay.
user and then assign team
Okay.
member license for them. That's one
Correct.
way to go
Okay.
about it. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. So even being the a role which is called Dynamics Administrator at the tenancy level and Power Platform Administrator, they will not be able to, however, send the invoices. They has to be imported in Dynamics. Then only they can actually have the
Yeah.
roles, and then only you can actually earn the expense. Okay, makes sense. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Venkatesh and Ajit, for bringing in this role. The next question is about the. Okay, I think it has been answered. How does the agent figure out which user to create the unattached receipts for email on the user setup? I think this is related to Microsoft Graph, which we extract
Yeah.
information, right?
So the
Venkatesh?
shared mailbox receives an email from a
Mhm.
user, right? From an email box. The from would define what is the account that's sent in. That account, what is the user ID in F&O, and the user ID is attached to a employee in F&O on user options, and having an employment in that legal entity. This is the setup that actually binds it together, saying, hey, this receipt is associated to this employee also.
Correct, correct. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Hope Pola, you are okay. You have any follow-up question on that? Thank you.
Maybe I
So
can ask a follow-up question on this, Umesh.
sure, sure.
Does it have capability to read some special instruction in the email? Let's say I send an email and write some instruction in the email that this receipt should go to this project, like for example, right? Instead of or divide it into two different projects. Or this receipt is for Umesh. I'm just forwarding it to you. Right, it's coming from my email. Like this kind of instruction, can it read?
Yeah, so the agent, the user story itself, Satya, is
Hmm.
as an employee, I'm using agent, leveraging agent, right?
Mhm.
I'm not doing it as a delegate for others. It's not the case. Or yeah. So
No, I agree. Yeah,
it's
I think this is our let's take it as our personal secretary, right? So we are like throwing all the receipt from our
yeah,
email to the secretary, right?
yes, it's
So
more of a
I,
personal productivity for the
yeah.
employee.
No, I agree. Yeah. I think that will be the least like not a good use case if I forward the receipt for other people also from my email, right? So let's
Yeah.
ignore that one. But let's take any other instruction you write in the email body. Can it read that?
Can it read that?
I can jump in here, Venkat. Yeah.
Right.
So
Right now,
so
not.
so
Yeah,
yeah,
please, Ajit, go
sorry,
ahead.
Venkat. Yeah. So just to add up that, Satya, so what the agent would be able to identify as of today is the cash expenses, right? Because not every expense is a credit card, a company or credit card related expense, right? So with this enhancement that's coming in, when or if the user mentions in the subject line that this is a cash expense, right, then the agent would directly create an expense line. It would not wait for a credit card expense to appear, or it would not wait for a receipt to match that particular credit card expense, right? So it would not keep trying for that. So that's one ability that would come up as part of the enhancements. But that's all that the agent can do from an email processing standpoint as of today. The whole intention, like Venkat said, was to make it as easy as it should be for the users to submit receipts, right? So this is just one way of or one medium of uploading the receipts. So you could do the same thing using even the expense mobile app that is there, right? So all that the user has to do is just click the uh, photo of the image, photo of the receipt using the expense mobile app, and then the receipt, the agent takes care of the rest. So you need not even depend on just the Outlook at this point in time. So there are multiple mediums to do this. So that's the whole intention. But yeah, I'll keep that also in mind. The feedback that you've given. Let's see. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
somewhere down the line. But as of today,
Ajit,
this is what the agent can do.
one aspect what Satya was mentioning, at least how I understood, is as a employee, I'll be associated to 7, 8 projects.
Yeah.
And it could be in different legal entities if I'm a fungible resource, meaning
Right.
I can
Yeah.
have base employment in one company and
Right.
like be loaned out for a few days for the other few days
Yeah.
or the other. My payroll runs from here only. So I
That
could
could be
be
what you
fungible.
said. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
can I specify in the email body saying, hey, this is for UK, like my UK subsidiary, and for this project on the email body.
Oh,
And then it actually creates the expense in that company associating to the project in that company. That is
and
the
on top of that, if I want to mention, let's say this will be chargeable to the client, this much will not be chargeable to the client, with every project is not billable, right? So those kind of instructions generally people add.
But
Good feedback.
chargeability
Yeah.
of an expense is more of a setup, Satya. It wouldn't be on the expense itself that we will determine there. We would just say generally on a project, if there is a trip that needs to be made, you're saying, hey, it's an all effort trip, or maybe it's only flights are possible to do it, or flight tickets or so, right? That would be a setup at the project level at the
Yeah. Yeah.
right. So
Yeah, generally true, but there are exceptions, right?
yeah.
Some charges you don't want to bill to the client for whatever reason, that you make it travel to the client side for handling some exception, right? And client doesn't want you to bill that because it was kind of you came for handling something which was not supposed to be part of the project. So
Yeah,
there are always
so
exceptions.
yeah, the essence of expense report is more like let me log so that I get paid as an employee. Now, how the project gets paid or the company gets paid is driven through the billing aspects of it. You could just say look up to the chargeable the category and then set it up over there. That's how I see it. But happy to connect more and understand. Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I have one more question. On the email, if we are attaching multiple receipts, hope that also is readable.
Yeah, it is
Not one
multiple
line.
receipts in a single email. Yes.
Multiple format also it supports. Like I'm sending one PDF, one JPEG, one PNG. So all that will be read by the agent.
I believe it should. Ajit, it should, right? It should support 3, 4
Yes.
different
Yes.
attachment types as well.
As
Right?
long as they are in individual files, right?
Yeah,
Being attached on an email, be it one email having one receipt or multiple receipts, multiple formats, the agent would take care of the rest.
Yeah.
It would,
So it's
so every receipt would be one expense line that is being created.
okay. Okay. So it will not have the multiple reading, right? Multiple reading of the multiple file format. It should be one at a time.
So
Could
one
you?
email can have a PNG, a JPEG, a PDF, different
Everything.
attachments. Each
Yes.
of
Okay.
them will be created as one expense line, Umesh.
Right.
But
Okay.
what is not supported is I have one attachment, which is one PDF having 17 different expenses in it, possibly like 17 pages, 17 different receipts. That is not supported. One
Okay.
receipt, one document also.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense. We have other questions as well. I will just quickly read out. I know we are over time. I will just have more last 5 minutes. Thank you. So Nitesh is asking about expense line will be created based on each email containing the single or multiple attachments. I think it has been covered. Why the expense line is not created in Dynamics 365 and then it be tracked with the alert. So second line is, I think, is there any info log in Dynamics 365 fo for this feature to see why the expense line is not created in D365fo and can be tracked within an alert? So this is the
Yeah.
question from Nitesh.
That's a great question. We are coming up with more better notifications. For now, if you see an error, it would be in Power Automate somewhere where it has failed also. We are coming up with better approaches to highlight that, bring it up to notice to some. Because it could be that user is there in F&O, but he's not attached to an employee or no employment is there. So how would you arrive at those, right? We are working on how to surface those errors better. That's one thing. And we do have anything that is failing in the Copilot Studio space, on the agent space, we do have a log kind of a thing that can be viewed from F&O itself. What is agent activity, right? In agent activity, you could see this error messages popping up also, right? So that's one place we are looking at it. We are looking at really transforming that space to make it more efficient also. As if you want to throw some light on that.
No, I think you covered it pretty well, Venkat.
Thank you. So next question is the agent trained to read different languages like Arabic and manual writing, maybe in the body or writing, or maybe it's a manual receipt, probably that's what he is meaning. Hariharan?
Handwritten receipts. Handwritten receipts, possibly not.
Yeah. Okay. And what about the different languages like Arabic language?
Ajit, do we support Arabic?
Yeah, so as long as the so this is what we've tested. It does work with different languages as long as the language does not have a lot of symbols within it, right? I think it does a pretty good job of at least extracting the data that is needed. And for handwritten as well, as long as it is, you know, quite not like
Doctor's
completely
prescription.
yeah, that's what I wanted to say, but I just wanted to, make sure I'm clear to what I'm saying. So as long as it has much of clarity, have the right details within the receipt, the agent does a pretty good job of extracting the data. So all that the agent looks for is the merchant name, transaction date, the total amount, and the currency from a receipt. So if these details are present, then I think the agent does a pretty good job of extracting the data.
Okay, and I think Harihan has the follow-up question: how it match the expense category? Is there any way to customize the agent to read customized field?
Okay, so agent would be able to say, hey, this is the possible category based on the description of the receipt or something like that, right? So it would do a good guesswork on that front, right? Now, customization is like if you add few more fields on expense line and you want them to be targeted. So this is actually done as a virtual entity and a Power Automate that finally feeds in whatever is the response from agent. So if you want to plug into that, you can definitely do like customize that Power Automate that I've shown. But if you need to read additional fields, right? I don't think that is so straightforward as expected, Hariharan.
Okay. Thank you, Venkatesh. Thank you, Hariharan, for the questions. I think it was a great session and very, very interactive session, Venkat and Ajit. Thank you for joining us. And the next, okay, so I have an announcement for the next session. I will just share my screen. For the next session, it is again in the continuous with the time and approval agents on 18th of September. So again, Venkatesh will come on board, I think. Yeah, Venkatesh will come on board, and then probably we will see how this can be done with the time and approval agents processing within the autonomous ERP.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I will have Mohit Menon, who is the PM owner for that area, to come
Great.
aboard along with us, like Ajit was helping us today to answer the questions as best as we can, right? At one
Thank
go.
you. Thank you. And Venkatesh, one more thing, many happy. I think congratulations. I would say that you have been promoted, right? Recently.
Thank you. Thank you, Mesh. Yeah.
Okay.
Just
Okay,
few days back it
nice.
happened.
Yeah, few days back. So thank you. And it is really a great session. So we'll see you on 18th. Thank you,
Thank
Ajit,
you.
as well. Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
you.
Satya sir.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you. Take care. Bye
Thank you,
bye.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.